Western medical profession. And there's a great deal of fixing in the New Age here in San Marcos and elsewhere. In fixing, there's something wrong with you. That's actually mistake number one. And I'm going to help you get rid of your symptoms, and when your symptoms are gone, you're healed. That philosophy is referred to as insanity by higher beings. Because if you get rid, your symptoms are a messaging system from your higher self. If you stretch out the tight places in yoga, if you get rid of your symptoms, you're basically telling your higher self to shut the fuck up. You don't want to listen to it. And when you do that, you get louder symptoms. This is how it works. Eventually, generally it takes decades, your symptoms can become so loud they're life-threatening. Cancer, heart disease, strokes, things like that are extremely loud symptoms from not listening to repeated messages, generally for decades. Have fun.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have to leave.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Catch your launch up.
Yes. Yeah, I got it. All right.
Symptoms are designed to lead you deeper, to decode whatever your higher self, working in partnership with your body consciousness, are trying to get you in touch with. I first was exposed to this idea in the 1970s when Seth said, "You got a little thing going with a bacteria or a virus? That is a cooperative endeavor with another species of consciousness." That's a quote. You ask that species of consciousness to make you sick for a real reason. And not, although it could be, not self-sabotage or punishment, although those things are possible. A typical example is a cold or a flu, where you get a cold or a flu to slow down. Your higher self helps you to slow down. You don't feel good. You can't think. You get thrown out of the mind and the emotional level into the sub or unconscious to do your work sub or unconsciously. When you've finished your work, you get better. That is the most common reason for a cold or a flu. When we were doing all this parallel reality shifting, a lot of people who would get a cold or a flu and they'd jump out of it and it would be completely gone. And they go, "No." And they jump right back into it. And it would be there, full blown. Literally 2 seconds later, their nose would go from completely clear to being completely stuffed up. It's pretty amazing. You had some fun with that, didn't you? Back then. Anyway, we're kind of busy doing something different now. So we have a YouTube video that'll explain it all. Lots of interviews with different people. Savant has an interview in there. Wow, we got the bubbles today. Now, we really do not care if this idea of fixing makes any sense to you. You need to go to the medical profession you have faith in. As higher beings say, eventually you'll understand that if you consistently kill bacteria with antibiotics, you You are voting to live on a planet where we kill other people as a way to solve our problems. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
As within, so without. If you'll kill microbes, then you'll kill people. It's not really any different. If you understand that I've taken people who may be dying from a microbe inside, and a funny thing often happens. The first communication from the microbe is, "Why are you attacking me? You asked me to do this for you." That's kind of funny. Yeah. And now, manifestations of fixing on the porch. We will ask you to keep it to a minimum. If someone starts crying, the general thing to do that the culture has taught you is to go into sympathy, to begin. We've had people jump up and throw a blanket around someone who's crying. Try and soothe them and comfort them, because they've been taught it is wrong to feel what you feel. I imagine all of you were taught the same thing. I certainly was. If Barbara is not feeling well, I need to distract her, comfort her, soothe her, pull her out of her process, disempower her, because she shouldn't be feeling bad. And besides, I'm way too threatened to know what the fuck you do with a crying woman, so she needs to stop so I can feel more comfortable. Yes? This is what I learned. Yes? What's that?
Some of the women recognize that.
They do. So the alternatives are, of course, a little bit different, and you're all invited to explore that territory of processing or parallel reality shifting, or however you work with it. But the whole idea is, if you won't feel it, you can't heal it. If you're feeling something, it is moving out of you. If you block the feeling of it, you trap it inside. And you will create a drama in your life to force you to feel those feelings. That's how it works. We call that method the hard bus. There's the hard bus, the easy bus, and the magic bus. This is a school for the easy bus and the magic bus. The hard bus, everyone is an expert in it. It's called trauma, drama, pain, struggle, suffering, chaos, violence, and insanity. The easy bus is inner processing, which frankly sucks. Ask Brett.
Don't recommend it. Actually, I do recommend it.
Layer after layer. All the higher beings say things inside are in layers like an onion. You do a layer, you think you're done. The next layer. You do that, you think you're done. The next layer. I sat in front of my teachers and went, shit, I already did this work. And in their very compassionate, enlightened being state, they said, well, it's the next layer. You're going to do it or not. So the magic bus is jumping. When we were doing all this on the porch about the parallel reality shifting, Matt Kahn published his. Everybody know who Matt Kahn is? Big, important spiritual teacher. Lots of free stuff out. Lots of expensive stuff out too. He published his first book called "Whatever Arises, Love That," which is like an abbreviated form of processing. And we started calling it "Whatever Arises, Jump That." Just jump it into a parallel reality where you've finished all your work and it's fully integrated. People want to play with some easy bus stuff? right? Yes? Yeah. Want a little trip on the Easy Bus? Okay, so my intro to this is a year or two ago, some Australian quantum physicists published a paper in a scientific quantum physics journal. Because they had done a classic quantum physics experiment called the double slit experiment, except they'd done it with a particle instead of a wave. And they got a certain result. And they looked at the result and they said, no way. So they modified their experiment, they changed a lot of variables, they did it in different ways, and they got the same result. So they brought in some other quantum physicists and said, what are we doing wrong? And those quantum physicists changed a whole lot of things, and they got the same result. So finally, basically what they did was they said, what the hell? We'll publish it, and we'll let the big boys at Cambridge and MIT chew us up. So they published, and the big boys at Cambridge and MIT said, oh yeah, that's the way it is. This is what they published. The particle chose its past from its future. A particle in the now chose its past from its future. Got that? Or sort of? A particle of matter chose its past from its future. They published this. And it's accepted by other quantum physicists as how it works. Now that's outside of lineal time. So this is what we're going to do right here. We're going to help you change your past from your future. You ready for that? Close your eyes. And look off into the distance. Imagine a fog, a mist, a cloud. And out of the cloud will walk your future self. You, about 8 years in the future, when we're just kind of getting on the other side of the chaos and it's looking a whole lot brighter. And let them walk toward you. Do you like them? Are they powerful? Are they having fun? Do they have lots of love and magic and service and joy in their life? Give them a big hug. And ask them to sit down to your right. Sit down on the right side. Just feel their energy. Now, they are going to have a lot of gratitude for you. Because if you hadn't done the work you've already done, they literally couldn't be who they are. So they'll have a lot of gratitude for you. A lot of thanks. A lot of love. And now ask, from your childhood or your adolescence, at a critical time in your life, your inner child or your inner adolescent, to come from the past and meet you. Give them a big hug. Share with them a little energy. Because you wouldn't be where you are if they hadn't gone through what they went through. They may be in quite a bit of trauma in the consensus reality shut down in chaos, that's okay. Now, ask them to go and sit down in the lap of your future self. Now, your future self, 8 years ahead, has done the inner child and inner adolescent work that you may have not done yet, so they understand it. And they can bring that energy to the child or adolescent that has come to visit you from your past. And let your future self heal your past self. Because they've already done that work. And the idea is, with a different past, with a more healed past, you will automatically have a different present. My teachers taught us how to change the past in the 1980s so that we could experience a different present. And it works. So let this love and energy move from your future to your past, under your direction. And now the three of you jump back in time to somewhere in your late teens to early 20s, some critical point. Say from 16 to the early 20s, whatever would be relevant. Where that you needs a little help, needs a little visit. And help that you. Help them empathically to release some of what they're holding. Some of the pain, the chaos, that they're going through. Some of the confusion. Give them some love. Help them release whatever they're ready to release. And then the four of you jump back in time to somewhere between 8, 9, and 15. To another critical time. To another you. In need of some help, some understanding, some connection. Some release of what they're carrying and holding. Some love that they might not be finding in their reality. Now let the five of you jump back again to somewhere between, say, 3 and 7. Inner child, consensus reality shutdown process. You're busily getting rid of, hiding, assassinating, disconnecting from your magic, your knowing. So you can fit in and be normal. So you can have an understanding of this dimension in a way that will help you. Once you return a little bit to yourself to be the healer you came here to be, because you got yourself out of it so you can help others. So bring them something they're missing. Maybe a little trust, some release from the experience they're having. Now give them a connection to their future. To you and your future self that they can connect to, even if it's in the dream time, whenever it works for them. So they can get a little assistance on other levels. Give them a big hug. Leave your inner child there and jump back to the 8 to 15. Drop them off. Again with a big hug and a connection to their future. Release them from a little bit more of their pain, confusion, chaos. Once again, say goodbye and jump back to the late teens, early 20s. Drop them off with that connection to their future. They can call upon for assistance, a connection that will help them on other levels. And with a big hug, jump back to right here, right now. And say goodbye to your future self. Let them return to their now, knowing that you also can call on them because they've already done the work you will be doing. So they know how you got there. And you still have to do that because we have to play it out in time because that's the illusion we have here. But you'll have some help and guidance from them if you're open to it. And say goodbye and let them go back into that mist, into the fog, into their now. And open your eyes. And how was that? How was changing your past from your future? Yes? Made a difference, didn't it, Daisy? So at this point, can throw it open to questions, or you've got something going on and you want a little assistance in working on part of your inner reality, your dramas that are up. Anybody who's been here for more than a week knows that this is the drama capital of Central America. Yes, things hit the fan. Daisy's been here a little longer than I have. She could tell you lots of stories. I remember many, many years ago sitting around with a whole bunch of the regulars in town, many of them healers. And there was a brand new couple who had just gotten to town. And they were, we're here to open a center. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We've been guided here. And everybody just kind of went, uh-oh, and said, make sure you don't make any commitments, don't buy any property, don't do anything until you find out why you're really here. And they, oh, no, we're guided. They bought a big piece of property out in Cacao. Within 1 month, they're both back in Europe. They're divorced. Their property is up for sale at a loss. And yeah, this happens a lot here. If you're not accepted by the Lady of the Lake, you don't get to stay. And I was told the same thing when I got here. You might even been one of the people that told me. I don't remember. But it's really true. People get bounced out of this place. I remember a local healer. Now, he was French. And French people do not wash their hands. And he got hepatitis A. And the rule with hepatitis A is because it's spread on fecal matter, on your poop, that after you use the bathroom, you've got to wash your hands really, really well with soap. He didn't bother. He didn't listen to the doctors or anyone else. And he was a vegan chef, and he spread hepatitis A to about 6 people. Do you remember that guy? He was over there in one of those apartments above Lush, next to Lush, and his wife was pregnant, and they got bounced right out of here, and he opened a center in San Pedro. And he was in complete denial that all of those people that got it at the same time, that all ate with him on the same night. Anyway,